Alex, Dieterich has really grown over the years, but also, what's the biggest thing you've noticed about what's happened, but also just the expansion and more people are moving here?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up here in Dieterich, and I can remember when it was, a much smaller town. There was no stoplight even, so we just had a stop sign there in town. And over the past several years, with the expansion of the subdivisions, and I live in North Point, so I can I can testify to how wonderful these communities are, and just the group of like-minded individuals that all working towards the same goal as far as, look, we need to get our school attendance up. How do we do that? We need to get more young families into Dieterich. How do we get that? Well, we establish TIF districts and offer, inexpensive places to raise your family. So the greatest thing for Dieterich is just the community involvement, the volunteers, the people that want to see Dieterich succeed, and they've done a great job.
With the solar eclipse, a once-in-a-lifetime experience that you just don't find anywhere else. With the now 62424 zip code day you had on Monday, which brought a great crowd here, but then the 4th of July that everybody looks forward to the most. What's it mean to you to have so many events coming to the town here when people are just flocking in?
So I have to give credit to the mapping, which a few years ago we did, I think, our 5th mapping through Western Illinois University, which is basically where you get the town together and talk about Dieterich, what Dieterich needs. And out of that program, we formed the Dieterich Events and Festivals Committee. So we put ourselves in a good position for 2024, which in 2024 we had 2 once-in-a-lifetime events, the Eclipse and the Zip Code Day, on top of Small Town Christmas and the 4th of July. So it's been an exceptional year for Dieterich, and with the park and the new pavilion addition, and the pond renovations that we had a few years back, and the pickleball courts, and everything just kind of fell into place for this to be a great year for Dieterich, and everybody coming to town sees the beautiful town, and it's a great thing.
I want to talk about the, like you said, solar eclipse, but it's not just what happened, it's who showed up. I mean, people from Wisconsin, Iowa, all over the states were coming. You got to meet different people. What was that like for you the most?
Well, it was great. We really didn't plan for the eclipse. It just kind of happened, so it was more of a, trying to manage the flow of people through town, as far as setting up areas to park, and people across from the store here, Wright's Furniture, from Chicago and Wisconsin, setting up telescopes, and just showing them what kind of hospitality we have here in Dieterich, and offering them drinks, and if we can do anything to help them. It's really kind of cool to see such a diverse group of people come to Dieterich for an event like the solar eclipse.
Reporting back here at home, celebrations taking place ahead of the eclipse. Carson and Flight 50 took the stage at Dieterich High School. And thanks to Repke Media for sending this in. It's part of the pre-eclipse party tonight. There'll be more events leading up to Totality tomorrow.
Of course, Dieterich's own and Dieterich graduate, Seth Bonoff, now WCIA3 weather leader, meteorologist. Talk about having him come down here and kind of explaining the solar eclipse and what it was like for you guys to have him down here, but also him giving a very good perspective on what's to come and what to expect.
Sure. So Seth is, whether he wants to be or not, I think he's a wonderful ambassador for Dieterich. He's very well-spoken, professional, and respected in his industry, and not too bad of a wiffle ball player either, I might add. He's pretty good at that. But yeah, I mean, we're just all so proud to call him one of Dieterich's own, and wish him the best of luck in the future.
Cool. Credentials: Seth Bonoff, WCI meteorologist, and Dieterich alum graduate.
So as I was introduced, of course, a lot of you probably know me. If not, I'm Seth Bonoff. I graduated in the Dieterich class of 2019. So of course, I am very familiar with everything around here and very excited. Dieterich is, it's moment, I say moment in the sun, moment out of the sun in this case. As far as the Eclipse goes, I just think it's really neat that we had one, not here in Dieterich, but we had one in Southern Illinois 7 years ago. And the fact that you had one that recently makes you think they're going to happen all the time, but they really don't. This one is very special just because we're not going to see another one in the U.S. for another 20-some years. And even that one's not going to be right here in our backyard. That's kind of the luxury of this one, is the fact that we don't have to go anywhere to actually watch this one, whereas I'm sure everyone knows people from around the country are coming out to see this one, so we're expecting a lot of people. But it's just nice to be able to do this from our backyard because there's a lot that goes into this. Just looking forward to having people come out here tomorrow, a little Dieterich, hopefully not an overwhelming number, but it's just kind of fun to see everyone coming on in for a big event, and it should be a pretty good time to just see it all from home.
Preparing for the 4th of July. Okay, it's obviously a big party here in Dieterich, but what goes into that? Preparing for it, planning for it. As far as when you guys start planning and getting the date figured out and what's going on, what goes into that?
Sure. So I always feel strange talking about this because I'm the guy that gets to talk about the events, but I do so little compared to the group effort of the community. So it's probably close to a year in advance. We start looking at buying fireworks. We start looking at vendors for next year. Start looking at the layout. Start looking at performers. Getting volunteers in line. Which this year we are still taking volunteers for the event itself. And high school students that need community service hours. This is a great way to get set up with that. So it's just such a big effort from the community to plan this out, because we're giving up time with our families, our summer nights, to get this organized and put together. So there are so many people that pull this off and make it a great success every year.
The Dieterich boys basketball program, especially for varsity, under Coach Seth Bonoff, does a great job. What do you feel like people are moving here to play basketball more too? How important do you think that is, not just for the communities aspect of it, but for the athletics part, and people can get scholarships that way too?
Sure. Yes, school sports are so important. I played basketball, baseball, and it teaches teamwork and reliability and accountability and hard work, and you get in what you get out. You get out what you put in, I should say. And yeah, Dieterich it's kind of like, your sports team is what the town rallies around. And to see them succeed and put their best effort out there, it's just a boon for the community and gives you that sense of pride.
The other one was sent to us by Red King Media. Dieterich and Arcola scored at 55, but Caleb Gephardt nails the fadeaway buzzer beater for a 58-55 win.
The culmination of the whole party of the 4th of July, the fireworks at dusk, it almost gives you chills when you hear KJ Country, God Bless the USA, and just the fireworks in the sky. But from a person like yourself, Alex, the people who put the time into that, how much emotion does that give for you guys?
Sure. So when COVID happened and the mandate was you can't be there, there's something like there's two conditions where we can go back to having group events, whether there's everybody is vaccinated or there are no new COVID cases or something like that. And we were thinking, oh my God, we'll never have the 4th of July again. It's for something like that to occur. And we were kind of downhearted and, we can't have the 4th of July this year. but the community actually raised money to ensure that we could set off fireworks that year. So, we were still we were doing the shelter in place. We weren't allowed to have large crowds together, but we still had the fireworks show. And residents of Dieterich that could view that, it was such a special feeling that, nothing's going to stop us from getting together and celebrate our country's independence. And we'll do it safely, but we're still going to have fireworks every year. And enjoy, now that those mandates are lifted, we can enjoy each other's company again. It's better than ever.
And all the events that have come, what has stood out to you the most, Alex, when it comes to just like, wow, I enjoy this, or this is really exciting?
Yeah, every year the 4th of July seems to get bigger and better. Small town Christmas, these events that we have annually, every year they keep improving and getting better and more well attended. And then we've had a few kind of one-off events that stand out. That was like the Zip Code Day was so great. The weather was perfect. We had a great turnout. The raffle went well. The picture was amazing. And the Solar Eclipse Day was great too. We had great weather there for that time of year. Dine in Dieterich was always a favorite of mine. The kind of food event we have here in Dieterich. So. And like I said, we're always open to new ideas that, kind of events for the town. So if anybody out there has any ideas, we'd love to hear them.
The town of Dieterich celebrated all things local with a zip code day in honor of June 24th, 2024. Dieterich took a town-wide photo with hundreds of people in the shape of the number 62424, taking the photo on that date that matched their zip code, that's 62424. And locals celebrated with food trucks, kids games, sidewalk chalk contest, and live music.
With the census, Alex, and the Harkey subdivision, from, you said about 600 people to now close to 1,000, that says a lot about the community here, and kind of explain that.
Sure. So again, it goes back to the residential development, the TIF districts, and being able to offer up affordable housing, affordable lots for young families to bolster our school attendance. It all comes back to that this is a safe, fun, beautiful place to live, to raise a family. So, again, the pieces that were set in place, 30 years ago are starting to really show, the results of that, and it's just great for Dieterich and the school.
Thank you, folks, for being here this evening. This is awesome. And as Darren said, when I'm in Springfield, they say, who's that rep from Dieterich? They can't even pronounce it. But, the rep from Dieterich. Yeah, so, folks, thank you for being here. Again, we use Dieterich. We use it as a shining example of prosperity in Southern Illinois and growth. And it is awesome. So, everybody give your hands a round of applause for that. That is great. Because in the state of Illinois, we've got a lot of work to do, in Springfield especially. And we have job growth and creation here. So, folks, we'll go ahead and move this forward. Let's draw the winner. Who here wants to win a house?
This is a very big thing I have a friend of mine who I went to Lakeland with from Chicago, but also Seattle. They were from Champaign, but they live in those cities now. They have come now to the 4th of July to check it out, and they have never seen a party thrown like this, but also for a community that comes together. What's that mean to you to have so many people from states away that are traveling so many miles away to be a part of this?
Yeah, I think Dieterich is small town America. It's safe, it's clean, it's people here love each other. They want to help each other. They love spending time in each other's company, and a celebration like this is just a taste of small town America. It's a great thing. Like I said, it's like Mayberry. It really is a special place, and for us to have an event like this and people want to come out and spend some time in Dieterich, it's just great.
As far as the 4th of July, has there been any advice you guys have been given as far as this was awesome, or hey, maybe we need to do some things and change this?
Yeah, I mean, we're always open to ideas. We want this to be as big a success as it can be. Obviously, it's a feather in Dieterich's cap, and we're always taking volunteer help if anybody wants to. If anybody has a great idea, we welcome them to come and try to make it a reality.
What is the biggest pride that you take in with all this?
I think the thing I'm most proud of is Dieterich is a small but dynamic community. You might say we punch above our weight. We for a town of less than 1,000 residents, we can have these wonderful events and invite people from neighboring communities all over the country to attend, and just the amount of people that are willing to help for the greater cause of Dieterich and give up their time and energy to come to town, or I should say set up these events to bring people to town. So I just think that's the thing I am most proud of about Dieterich is the ability to do big things in a little town.
A lot of that goes into planning, but as far as all the events that come, you don't want to miss something. Any obstacles you face along that way?
Yeah, that's a great reason why we set up the Festivals and Events Committee, so they can have the foresight to say, oh man, zip code day is coming up, so we need to set some stuff in motion for that, or the Eclipse is coming up. We need to prepare, the town, because we might be overrun with people trying to get to the viewing area of the Eclipse. So I'd say one of the biggest hurdles, we have a lot of people that volunteer, but we could always use more. So that's getting people to come out and give us their time is definitely an obstacle, and we're so blessed to have the people that do volunteer, but you could always use a few more hands to make sure these things are a success.
For being such a small town like Dieterich is, what makes it so unique?
The people and the volunteerism, just the general can-do attitude and volunteerism of the community. So like I said, we got so many people that are willing to give up their time to improve Dieterich, make these events happen that we have from time to time. And it's like Mayberry, man. When I go out in my neighborhood on a summer evening and there's kids and dogs walking, and it just feels like small town America. It really is a wonderful place.
Since the growth began and now to where it's at now, did you envision something like this happening at some point?
Well, yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of catching the fruits of people's labors that were set in motion a long time ago. So having the group of people that volunteer their time and effort and want to keep seeing Dieterich succeed, the right people kind of move things along in the direction that needs to be. So I don't know if I saw it happening. It's just the luck and dedication and hard work of everybody getting together and making the progress for Dieterich.
Is it a whirlwind for you, Alex, knowing that it doesn't take one person, it's a community effort, as far as the amount of time you guys put into this and want to make this special for the community here? Yeah,
I mean, I'm reaping the benefits of plans that were laid out before I was born. The tree was planted long before I came along, so it's as a metaphor. It's starting to mature now, and people are seeing the fruits of their labor 20, 30 years ago of the subdivisions and the school and getting things in order to be successful. So I'm in this kind of great position where I have the opportunity to help continue Dieterich's path of growth that it's been on for the past 20, 30 years. So it is very special to see from when I was here in school to what it is today, and the path that those like-minded individuals set us on that long ago. So it's definitely wasn't an overnight success. It was a lot of hard work over a lot of years, and trusting that the progress would come along with the changes that were made.
For anybody that wants to know what's happening in Dieterich, what pages, what social media should they look up to find out, hey, what's going on in Dieterich today or this weekend?
Sure. So Facebook is a great way to stay on top of all the events that are coming up. The Dieterich Business Association page stays on top of most of the events. The Village of Dieterich Facebook page is a great place to stay up to date on those events. There is a Dieterich celebration page for the 4th of July, and I think there's a small town Christmas page for that event as well, because those are 2 events we have every year. And that's the best place to kind of see flyers, event photos, updates, that kind of thing. So check out those pages on Facebook.
Alex Wright, Alex, thank you so much for taking the time with me to share the improvements, but also the growth of Dieterich. It's a very exciting time with all the events happening, of course, with the 4th next Thursday. And I know you're proud of Dieterich, but also this community is proud. And we look forward to seeing Dieterich grow more and more over the years and seeing a lot more people show up as well.
Absolutely. And come out on the 3rd, too. We've got live music and food trucks and everything opened up on the 3rd there at Liberty Park, where the celebration will be on the 4th. So come on out and see us.